Hello, today is the anniversary of the birth in 1895 of Anna Freud. She was the sixth and last child of Sigmund Freud and his wife Martha, and became a distinguished psychoanalyst in her own right. She specialized in work with children, but she also wrote in 1936 a book called The Ego and the Mechanisms of Defense. And of course the notion of defense mechanisms has become common parlance now. We recognize, as she pointed out, that the human mind has ways of protecting itself against anything particularly stressful or anxiety making or anything unacceptable. So that if we have a thought or do something which we find unacceptable and which we're likely to feel stressed about having done, we can have a defense mechanism against it having too much effect on us. Or if something external happens, somebody gives us some news or something that we don't like, or criticizes us in a way that we think is true but which we don't want to accept, we have a defense mechanism which enables our ego to keep its head up high, because it isn't willing to accept these external or internal suggestions of unacceptability and stress. She suggests, for example, that repression is one way of defending ourselves against these threats. We push down, not consciously but subconsciously, push down beneath the level of our consciousness the awareness of what's happened, and that enables us to not feel its effects too rigorously. Or we project onto other people so that, for example, if I'm feeling particularly irritable about something but I don't find that acceptable in myself, I will then somehow assume that it's other people who are being irritable. I will project my irritability onto them. Or sometimes the problem is that we rationalize something. We may have said something or heard something said that we don't want to accept, and we'll find a very rational reason for not doing so. We'll use our brains and our minds to protect us from the feelings that might come from fully accepting what's happened or what we've thought. And there are a number of ways, of course, in which we can do this, defending ourselves, keeping our egos strong against anything which seems to perhaps make them feel weaker, because that's what we need to do. And the defense mechanisms have a valid purpose, and particularly if they're temporary, can be extremely helpful. But what's dangerous, I think, is when they become too common or get too much of a grip on us, because so often it can lead to, if we repress things, it can lead to us coming up with things subsequently that are not particularly socially acceptable, because what we've repressed has been festering away inside us for too long, and it comes out in an unacceptable way. Or particularly if we're going to rationalise, or if we're going to project, it can easily lead to blaming other people for something which we need to accept is our error, or something that we've done. So I think today, just to try and be aware of when we might be adopting some kind of defense mechanism, to make sure that when we do so, we're aware of it and we're not hurting other people by doing so.